was trying to do like a 60s look today, and then I stopped halfway through with the hair, so I just look like...
Hot.
Thank you very much. I was going to say a community school, like, backstage extra. Community theater. All right, fine. You know what? On that note, hi everybody. We're back today for another video in which we answer...
I think they've picked that. Like, they've pieced that together.
They know about that, having clicked on the video.
Uh-huh. I think that may have...
I just think it's nice to create a positive and welcoming attitude with regards to our viewers whom we love so very much. I place a kiss on each of your heads. Mwah, 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 mwah. And there are only that many of you.
I refuse to infantilize you.
They like it.
Isn't that right, little followy wallowies?
I like your shirt today.
Thank you. It's tropical.
Yeah, it has sort of a
palm trees on
tropical vibe. Mm-hmm. It's going to be really cute in the summer when you wear this and I wear my, like, jumpsuit. With
your Florida jumpsuit.
Yeah, my Florida jumpsuit.
Yeah, that'll be very good.
Stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to you, because, like, we're talking to you.
This is about
we're having our own conversation here. We're basically agony aunts at this point. We've decided.
Is that the term? I think it is.
I think it is.
I think it's agony.
The reason we're saying that is because a lot of the questions we got last week are now signed with, I think it's because the last
was anxious and confused.
Confused and anxious. Yeah. So then a lot of the questions we got this week were, like, similar, you know, little... Not leaving a name,
just
but
adjectives.
Just an adjective, which is really cute. But we were making jokes to each other that, oh, we're just agony ants now.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
I'm not mad about it at all.
Also, if you don't know what that term means, because I don't know how relevant it is.
I think it's relevant.
Is there
sort of like...
Do they still exist?
Yeah, they still exist. Okay. There's a lot of really popular online ones. I think there's like an Ask
that's
Polly
right. Of course
one.
there are. Yeah.
Yeah. Like ours, the thing that we do.
Online.
Of course, online. So, yeah. Oh, and there was one other thing. We've been getting a lot of messages that have to do with long-distance relationships and advice for couples in long-distance relationships. We, not on this channel, but we have put together a long video already about long-distance relationship stuff. Because we used to be long-distance. So, if you're looking for that sort of thing, it's in the description. You can find it there. I know that we didn't answer every single question, but there is a lot of information.
Yeah. And that's the thing is when we kind of look at what questions we want to answer, we want to make sure it's something that isn't too similar to something we've already done.
Yeah.
And
something that's not 20 paragraphs long. It's just we can't answer questions like that. Okay, I've decided that I'm going to read the question this week.
That's fair. I read last week. So
okay.
It's only
I even have it up already on my phone this week, like a pro.
You beat me to it.
Okay. This subject line is open relationship struggles. Sorry, just your Hi, ladies. I'm in an open relationship, and a few months ago, my partner and I brought a third person into the relationship. This person recently began dating another person, which we supported. However, now that person has decided that they want to be monogamous with their new partner, and my spouse and I are feeling hurt and rejected. What should I do? Love, open relationship struggles. That's what we were talking about. People are now signing it off as their thing, which I love it. It's no problem if you leave any name, but, like, come on, this is so cute. So, tell your advice. I'm just a question asker.
Yeah, so can you open it again? I want to, like, make sure that I'm not putting words in people's mouths.
Sure. Oh, and for context, I think it's important that we both acknowledge the fact that, well, I don't want to speak for you, but for myself, I've never been in an open relationship.
Yeah.
So any advice or thoughts or feelings that I give and say in this video, have it be in the context that I don't have firsthand experience, so I can only give advice from my point of view. I just want to say that. But we both are extremely respectful of open and poly relationships, and a lot of our friends are in them, and that said,
we live in Toronto.
Yeah, we live in Toronto.
Everyone.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I just want to give context for myself because, context is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What did you want to reread?
So I wanted to reread what they said at the end where they said they were feeling hurt and rejected. I wanted to borrow that language.
Oh, I see.
So I wanted to kind of start backwards and talk about the hurt and rejection of that. I think feeling hurt is valid because it's hurt. You're going to be hurt no matter what in a situation.
Breakups.
I don't know if is it a breakup? I guess it's kind of a form of a breakup.
I think that, because I even refer to friendships ending as breakups.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Well, no.
So I don't know if it's a breakup in the traditional sense, but I mean, not being a part of that relationship
it's not
anymore.
a part of that. They're not a part of that dynamic anymore.
Yeah.
So it is. And it's very fair to feel hurt by that. And again, the feelings of rejection and hurt, those are all normal feelings.
That's so true.
What I will say is, I think in the dynamic of an open relationship, which you and your spouse are in an open relationship, that individual was clearly in an open relationship and then decided to be monogamous. I think it's kind of expected in situations like this that's going to happen. It's not always going to happen, but it's a possibility. If you bring a third person into your relationship, that they might want to have a monogamous relationship. They might move on to another group of people and might not want to be, involved with you sexually anymore. And I think...
Or emotionally.
Yeah, or emotionally. And I
Yeah.
think that's the very nature of an open relationship, which is why, for me, I find it interesting. There's language here being used of openness, but also kind of... Control's not the right word, but of ownership.
I think possessiveness a little bit.
Yeah,
That was kind of my read on this too, is that when I read it, I'm reading it and the question asker is saying, what should I do?
Yeah.
And I guess my response to that is like...
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I think that not all feelings are fair feelings, but you can still feel them. But
most feelings aren't fair.
Most feelings... That's not true. Every feeling I've ever felt has been fair. And you'll know that.
Yeah.
And I'll take you to acknowledge that. That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Not all feelings are fair feelings. But it's okay to still have them even though they're not fair. I guess what is or isn't okay is where you go with it after that and what you do and what you don't do. So I guess I had kind of the same read that my initial response to reading the question was kind of like, why, not why, you get to be hurt, you get to feel rejected, everybody involved gets to feel those things, but why does it feel unfair that person wants to be monogamous with someone?
Well, and I think that's the thing worth thinking about. And I only say that because there is possessive language.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where when you are in an open relationship, and again, what's interesting, like, again, you are married.
Well, that's the thing. So there seems to be like...
Well, you can be married and not monogamous.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Right.
I agree 100%. But I'm just saying that them being the spouse... is like...
It's a dynamic.
It's a dynamic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You're bringing a third into a dynamic. And there's a pre-existing relationship dynamic. It's different than an open relationship if none of you were married.
Right.
Or, or even living together. It's like there are so many different
For sure.
dynamics.
I guess that's just what I was trying to say, is that there is a pre-existing dynamic between this person and their spouse.
Exactly.
Before this third person entered the situation.
Well, and it almost kind of reads like this is our third. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of just the role that...
But the read I get just by reading it is that this third person was involved with both of them.
Oh, yeah,
that
absolutely.
might not be true exactly, but...
It sounds like there had to have been overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard and it's a difficult situation because... I can see it from everybody's different perspectives, but I guess my heart settles on that third person of like...
Are they happy?
Yeah, like, why shouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
If that's what they want.
I think it's like, it's not a betrayal. They're following, their heart and they want to be in that situation. And I think they have all the right in the world to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's kind of, this just goes to the age-old, conflict of, poly relationships is when it goes to boundaries and feelings and emotions, and then also kind of the freedom of not being attached.
Oh.
And I think like
everybody has different rules for what's okay in their relationship.
Yeah. And we don't know all of the rules.
No, that's the thing.
And we can't because it's not our relationship. But what I can say is, again, the term open relationships used, this individual's treating it like an open relationship, and just like anything else, because it's open, they're welcome to leave whenever they want. And that's what they've done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the contract that you have, you know what I mean? The agreement that you all have.
It's just understanding, I guess.
Yeah, by entering in that relationship, all three of you, you have an understanding that because it is open, they are free to go, they are free to come, they are free to do any of those words. And I think, it's definitely, you're going to have those feelings of like, well, why didn't they choose us? Or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know what, maybe they just wanted monogamy. And
maybe they learned that in that situation.
You can learn that in the situation and figure out like what you want. Those situations can be really, really helpful and beneficial to help figure out what you do want and what you don't want. Yeah. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, that's kind of what you signed up for. And I'm not trying to sound dismissive because your feelings are valid, but you're in an open relationship. You signed up for this. So you have to be as open to people leaving as you are to having people join in. And I think that's something worth thinking about, because like rejection and all those feelings are natural and are going to happen, and they're not going to go away.
No.
But it is worth thinking about as you continue to be in an open relationship. How am I internally dealing with the fact that like these are not ownership relationships, that this isn't my person,
right?
That they,
Do you feel like in monogamous relationships that it's more of a, I don't want to say ownership.
Yeah,
but do you feel like there is more of a this is my person vibe?
I think ownership was probably the wrong word to use.
No, but I get what you're saying, but
I think if a monogamous relationship is unhealthy, there can be an ownership thing.
I get what you were saying, and I get that you weren't trying to say that.
I think there's a sense of belonging to one person in monogamy. Right, I mean, that's just the description of monogamy. Is that if you're in a healthy monogamous relationship, you're two people who
are choosing to be together. Are choosing
singularly. They're making the choice that like, okay,
right,
like we talked about last week, I might have attractions to other people, but I'm going to.
And everybody has their own rules of what that means.
And monogamy means different things to different people.
It absolutely does. It really does.
It absolutely does.
Polyamory means different things
to different people.
And open relationships mean different things to different people. And I think
they're all made up labels.
Everything is.
Everything is made up label. Blah, 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 blah.
But yeah, I mean, and just to circle back, the question asker saying, what should I do? I don't think you should do anything, question asker. And I'm not saying that in a bad or a good way. I think that it might be that you and your spouse kind of just have to sit with this and say, we're feeling hurt. We're feeling rejected. Let's, as a team, because there's two of you and that kind of rocks for getting through something. It's way harder to get through something like that on your own when it's just one person. As a team, you may just have to go through the sort of pseudo ritual of healing and a breakup and what comes with that, and you have each other, which is kind of nice for you in this situation, that you can be a comfort to each other. That being said, I don't think you have a right to do anything else.
No, you don't.
Because if that person wants to be monogamous with someone else and not you both, I mean, what can you do? You can't do anything. They were well within their right to do that, as far as we know. We can't really know what your relationship's like in the finer details.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I both feel like you have to have the breakup feelings, but I don't think it's fair for you to do anything other than that at the end of the day.
I think it's also Oh, sorry.
No, please.
Yeah. Another thing I think, in terms of actionables, like things you can do, I really do think it is worth sitting with and thinking about those feelings and figuring out what your expectations are for your open relationship.
Interesting.
If this is, and I only mention that again because you write in it sounds like this was a really hurtful experience for you.
Yeah.
It's important to sit with that and think about, like, am I putting myself in a position where if someone does choose to leave the open relationship, I'm going to be hurt by that over and over again. I think when you are in an open relationship dynamic, it's, the expectations maybe need to be that, like, that's going to happen.
Right. Do you think that the couple, this person and their spouse, their expectation with people who enter their relationship should be more casual going forward?
I think it's, and that's,
I don't know.
I think yes. And my assumption is that it would be.
Right.
So, and that's, I think, when I'm reading this, there's kind of a conflict of formal and casual.
I see. Yeah. Because in a casual thing, if they decided to pursue outside interests, and they said as a couple they supported the person
until
pursuing,
they became monogamous.
Yeah, until the couple wasn't a
they
part
got
of it.
cut off.
Yeah.
from the sex acts, and I think
It's not just sex acts.
I know.
Yeah.
I was being a little.
I know, but I just want to be really clear with our language.
Absolutely.
That it's a relationship, and like,
I
we don't
appreciate
even know that
we
person,
don't know what happens in it. We don't want to make assumptions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's worth meditating on that and figuring out what you, and obviously like your spouse, figuring out what you two want.
Yeah, going forward.
And maybe that might help you both set better boundaries with people who you enter a relationship with in the future.
That being said, you're still going to get hurt. We're all going to get hurt.
You're still going to get
God.
hurt. It doesn't matter if you're poly or monogamous, or you're going to get hurt in life.
Yeah.
And I think
you're going to feel betrayed by people.
Yeah. And all you can do is learn from it. And again, learn from it and then figure out what your boundaries are and how your boundaries change. So I think that the answer is, sit on it a little bit. Sit on it, Potsy.
I think that the answer is you need to figure out exactly what your favorite movies are and watch them all and eat ice cream.
Yeah. And I agree. But
that's my diagnosis.
And
that's what I think you should do.
I hope we did an okay job with this one. It's tough when we only get a keyhole of the situation.
Yes, that's the thing. We have to infer.
We have to make assumptions and infer things.
And they could be completely wrong.
Yeah. Like, a lot of my advice is based off of wording and tone of an email.
What can you do?
So, like, if I didn't get you and you're like, this is all nonsense, then that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, like, and I think this goes for everyone, not just the question asker, is, again, poly or not poly.
That is the question.
Poly or not poly. Yeah. No, but like, just when you encounter pain in a relationship, when you encounter rejection in a relationship, and that can be any kind of relationship, it could, it's worth thinking about what happened in that relationship and then what your boundaries are and what you want from your relationships going forward. What do I want in a friendship?
I was going to say, I definitely relate to this in terms of friendship. I've been, over the last couple of years, like, having experiences and then doing a lot of thinking and introspection about what's okay for me to try and not put myself in situations that aren't okay for me. Because it's like, the only person who's going to protect me is me.
Is you, yeah.
And I have to be really firm with my boundaries of what I'm letting myself get into, because I'm not going to let myself be hurt easily. I mean, it's still going to happen. Look, I can get hurt easily.
But yeah, no, it's about learning and moving and growing. And I think that's what we learn from every relationship that doesn't quote unquote work out,
right,
or stay in your life. And yeah, I said it before, but figure out what you want. Figure out what you and your spouse want, because it sounds like you're a unit in this, you're still an open relationship, but you're also a unit and you're in an entity because you are still in a marriage. And there, you know, that it does bring a dynamic to the table. So that's really worth dissecting and thinking about. Yeah.
Well, we hope that we answered that question okay. It's a little bit out of our wheelhouse, so we can only approach it with the knowledge that we have. But hopefully it was, I mean, you knew our deal before you wrote the question, and so hopefully it's okay. If you have a question for us, as always, you never put your hands up.
There it is.
Here's
now
our
I can
email.
support it with all four hands.
With all four hands, support our email that you can email a question to. Try to keep it succinct.
Yeah.
And
what I will say also, in terms of when we choose to answer questions, figuring out if we've kind of touched on it before is one thing. Another thing is if something is so far from our lived experience, we're not going to answer it.
Yeah, there's been things we've decided it's not appropriate for us to answer.
I would feel irresponsible, even though, like, I'm not a professional. I'm a random human.
You're just a rando.
I'm just a rando. I'm an internet rando.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, like, I don't even want to put a quote-unquote advice out there if it's something where I have no idea. Like, where this one, it's kind of borderline because, you know...
I know about people. I've kissed
It's
before.
about relationships.
Right.
And, like, it's about relationships that I've had that are similar.
Right.
No one's lived experiences are going to be the same. But if something is so specific, you know, to a...
There's just been stuff that we know it would be irresponsible for us to answer because we just can't be...
We don't...
I am not a doctor.
Yeah.
I just play one on TV.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not doctors. And yeah.
I love it.
Love it, not doctors. I think it's important to say because, like, it actually means a lot to me that people trust us so much. Hi
cool
there.
car noises.
Hi there, car noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it means a lot. But, like, also, we're not medical professionals. And yeah. Yes.
There's still time.
Not until the doctors give us the degree.
The day is young.
They watch the video and they're like, all right.
They're like, would you like to be on our television show? You seem like a doctor.
Yeah. It could be the new Dr.
I,
Oz.
like, adjust my nurse's cap slightly and I leave.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you so much.
Yeah, we love you so much.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.